Here to Daytona for practice for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series for the NEXTEra Energy Resources 250. I'm Eric Britton from MJ531 here to deliver our first and only practice session to get these drivers geared up for the big race, the NEXTEra Energy Resources 250. We already have drivers coming out on the track. Here is our schedule for the trucks. We will have a 20-minute practice session. Then we will show you the starting grid for the race. Qualifying will not be aired live. I will just show how they qualified. So anyway, first up on the track is number 4, Jeb Burton. Jeb Burton making his 27th career start. He ran his first full NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season last year, scored over 6 or 7 poles, and got his one and only win at the Texas Motor Speedway. Had a very solid rookie season, especially the first part of the season. He was very dominant, but ended up falling a little bit short in the rookie standings as he did not win the Rookie of the Year battle. Next up, we're gonna on track that came out is John West Townley. He had probably his best NASCAR year last year, driving the 7-4 Red Horse Racing. Townley returning to the number 7 for Red Horse with Zach Spies sponsoring him. Sean Core, this 82 team plans a full season. They got their owner points from the Ryan Sieg number 39 truck, as that team will not run the full season. So this 82 truck is locked in with Sean Core and Empire Racing. They plan to run the full season with Sean. And behind him is the truck that they got the owner points from the 39 of Ryan Lynch. Ryan Sieg Racing has expanded its program. They will now run a full nationwide schedule with Ryan Sieg. They had Ryan Lynch in the car this week, or in the truck this weekend. Now here comes 2 Red Horse Racing teammates. We talked about John West Townley. Here's Herman Quiroga in the 77 and Timothy Peters in the 17. Timothy and Herman pretty much returning to what they left at Homestead. Same truck, same sponsor. They both have different crew chiefs. Butch Hilton, crew chief of the 77, and well, I'm not quite sure about the 17. And the 39 and 17 went off track, and looks like we had the 59 off pace. Cal Martell plans a part-time season with Cal Martell, Bill Martell Racing. Here comes a driver who ran a full nationwide schedule and will be running full-time in the truck series once again, Parker Kligerman. And off track, and we got a lot of guys going off track, trying to avoid the slow 59 of Martell. Before we talk about any more drivers, let's see what happened to that 59 that's got him out of shape. Must have something wrong with the 59. I really don't know what happened to the 59 Cal Martell. Saw the 30 go by, and then he's just slow. Right there is when something broke in the car. 59 of Martell, I believe, is down the cylinder. So, Martell, one of those drivers who must make the show on time. Derek Thorne, Max Grissom, Tyler Young. Gresham in the 8 returning to Sharp Gallagher Racing will run the full season. And look at these guys trying to avoid the 59, Max Gresham. Behind him is the 14 of Derek Thorne. Derek Thorne, last year's K&N West Series champion. He's been signed by Bob Newberry, the owner of NTS Motorsports. Has signed Derek Thorne to run the full season in this number 14 Chevy. Behind him is Tyler Young in this 02 truck for Tyler Young Racing. Young plans a limited schedule with Tyler. Plans up to at least 9 races, beginning with this race at Daytona. Tyler Young is a go-homer. CJ Faison in the 07 this team plans a full season, but no word on how many races CJ plans on running. Of course he is running this race and he is locked in. Joey Coulter was released by Cowbush Motorsports and has been picked up by Turner Scott Motorsports to drive this number 30 truck for the full season. Joey he had a horrible season. Probably the only bright side of his 2013 season was almost winning at Kansas. Came up a little bit short, Matt Crafton, and also had a good run at Eldora. But Joey hopes to have a pretty good season. Hopes to have a better season with Turner Scott Motorsports. Also does plan on running some nationwide races as well. And how about Mike Skinner? Great to have him back in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the 1995 truck champion. Almost won the 2007 champion. Has been out of a ride pretty much since 2011, and Skinner will run the full season. Hopefully will run the full season for this 92 team Ricky Benton Motorsports. Alex Bowman signed with Richie Waters Motorsports, and Bowman will run the full truck season after he ran a full nationwide schedule last year for RB Racing. He did miss the final race of the season last year after he was released. Mason Mingus finished second in the ARCA Racing Series points last year. Runner-up for Frank Kimmel. Mingus will run. And oh man, we got trouble! Mingus will run the full season, but we have trouble and some trucks are damaged. There's Scott Riggs. Scott Riggs hopes to run a full season for Turn 1 Racing. Dakota Armstrong was released, and I'm starting to think that this might have been caused by the 59 of Cal Martell, and yes it was. Martell, not really what Cal was hoping for, and Scott Riggs is probably just a victim. See if Riggs can get that car back out there, but looks like that 60 will be going to a backup truck because, there it goes. Into the garage. Scott Riggs is locked into the race. Clay Greenfield in the 68. One of our go homers, his 29th quickest. He was a part of that fantastic show at Eldora with Norm Benning. Ross Chastain, after running a part-time but a stellar season with BKR, he has been signed. Both him and Watermelon.org will return to BKR. Chastain plans a full season. There's your Rating Series champion, Matt Crafton. Stellar season, 19 top 10s in 22 races. That is what got Crafton his first championship in NASCAR. Crafton does plan a few races for RCR with Menards. That's Matt Crafton. There's Nelson Piquet Jr. made his debut with NTS Motorsports at Homestead when Ron Hornaday was released. Piquet plans a full season ahead with Anderson Maple Syrup and Smoky Mountain sponsoring him for the full season. There's Johnny Sauter, teammate of the 88 of Matt Crafton. Sauter will return with CarolinaNut.org as they will return to ThorSport. Darrell Wallace Jr., who lost the draft, might be getting picked up by this pack. Darrell Wallace Jr. finished second in the Rookie of the Year standings last year, I believe. They got that big win at Martinsville. That was a really momentum booster for the 54 of Darrell Wallace. Got a couple of wins in the K&N E-Series for a couple of years there, and he is returning to 54 Cowbush Motorsports. Does plan on running some nationwide races. Justin Jennings in the 63 for MB Motorsports, 36 quickest right now. Jennings must make the show on time, and in fact, let's see who is the quickest guy, as Oliver Gyros has completed a time, and it is a 31 of Ben Kennedy. Ben Kennedy running for Rookie of the Year, replacing James Busher in the 31. Ben Kennedy is the quickest in that 31 with a lap of 46.418. And how about the guy who is second, the 27 of Jeff Agnew. Agnew, Hillman Racing, they plan about a same schedule with Jeff Agnew, about a part-time deal with Agnew. Cale Gale, returning full-time in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Made a couple of starts last year. Cale Gale win that race at Homestead with Kyle Busch. At the end of the 2012 season, Cale, he's driving a truck out of Turner Scott Motorsports. Let's see, Chris Laverty, driving for Jennifer Joe Racing. Laverty, he is 13th quickest. Nice lap for this zero, but he has to make the show on time with many other drivers. 42 drivers are entered in this race. Jamie Weller, I believe we talked about him. Scott Stenzel, Norm Benning. Norm must make the show on time, and right now he is now 40th quickest, more than Norm Benning. Parker Kligerman made a move over to the NASCAR Nationwide Series last year. That team had to really cut back with Parker, and they moved him back to the Truck Series. He will return to that 77 team, but only on a part-time deal. So Parker replacing Joey Coulter in the 8 team. Brennan Newberry returning to the NTS Motorsports team. Newberry hopes to have a better season than last year. Finished not that well in the standings. That's Brennan Newberry who we're talking about, and we're having a little bit of freezing their issues. Spencer Gallagher, who's ran in the ARCA Racing Series last year. Gallagher is planning on a full season, hopefully in this 21 truck. So that's Spencer Gallagher. Caleb Hallman, also Gallagher is a go-go homer. Caleb Hallman, a go-go homer in the 75 Henderson Motorsports truck. 34th quickest on the board for the 75. Elliott Sadler, this is a one-race deal as of right now for Elliott Sadler. This truck will mainly be driven by Kyle Busch and Eric Jones in the 2014 season. Elliott will also run tomorrow. Will also run this weekend's NASCAR Nationwide Series race, job in the 11. 10-time champion Frank Kimmel. He knows how to get it done in the ARCA Racing Series. Trying to see if he can do the same thing in a full season in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Kimmel will drive all 22 races this season, along with teammates Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. There is your defending Rookie of the Year champion, Ryan Blaney. Plans the full season once again with Cooper Standard as a sponsor. Same thing with Miguel Paludo returning to Turner Scott Motorsports. And yeah. Justin Lofton spent 2013 kind of like he ran a part-time deal last year with 80s Art Racing to focus on some off-road racing. Lofton returning to NASCAR full-time and will run this truck for the full season. Chad McCumbee replacing Brian Silas in this 99. McCumbee hopes this team will run a full season. No word on how many races McCumbee will be in, but he will drive at least the first 2 races as they reported on Twitter. So that's great for McCumbee to get an opportunity to drive. Still looking, and there is a 59 of Cal Martell. He is back on track after that heavy crash with Scott Riggs, and we were going to go back and see what happened at the end of this practice session, but Martell still 42nd quickest, and he's now coming down pit road. Still trying to see if let's see if there's any more drivers we have not talked about that is competing in this session. Chris Laverty, Jeb Burton, Alex Bowman, Lofton, Townley, Gresham, Piquet, Young, Faison, Cobb. I don't believe we've talked about Jennifer Jo Cobb. She is right now 41st quickest. She is a go-go homer and must make the field on time. Right now she's in a pack with Joey Coulter, Alex Bowman, and Mike Skinner. Kimmel, Thorne, Peters, Kligerman, Chastain, Gallagher, Newberry, Agnew, Blaney, Coulter, Kennedy. Let's see. I believe that's all we've talked about. Jimmy Weller, Sean Core, Chris Fontaine. I want to point out what a lap out of Fontaine, 9th quickest in this Glendon Motorsports. One of Kyle Busch's good friends when it comes to super speedways. Fontaine has shown that he can drive. He does know how to race when it comes to drafting, and he's had some great runs in the past, and he hopes to do the same thing this weekend, but he must make the field on time. But right now, he is ninth quickest, which is great for the 84, Chris Fontaine. Like, that's all we talked about. We was not able to really talk about Scott Riggs, who is back on track. Dakota Armstrong was released from Turn 1 Racing as he moves up to the Nationwide Series. Scott Riggs is in the truck this weekend, and they have actually announced that Scott Riggs will run the full Truck Series schedule for Turn 1 Racing. It just depends if sponsorship can stay without leaving. And right now, Riggs has ran about 16 laps now in a practice, and we only got 4 minutes remaining. Let's have a little top 10 rundown on the quickest 10 trucks in this session. Remaining the fastest is the 31 of Bing Kennedy, who has a lap of a 46.41. Second quickest is the 27 of Jeff Agnew in the 27. The number 6 of Justin Lofton, he is third quickest in the 80 Sharp or any Sharp Gallagher Racing entry. The 98 of Johnny Sauter is fourth quickest at a lap of a 46.49 for Johnny Sauter. Ryan Blaney is fifth quickest with a lap of 46.50. Teammate Ross Chastain is sixth quickest at a lap of a 46.52. Nice lap out of the 24 Brendan Newberry. He is seventh quickest at a 46.56. Great lap for the 99 of Chad McCumbee. He is 8th quickest at a lap of a 46.57. Also at the same time, or near the same time, the 84 Chris Fontaine. He is 9th quickest, Chris Fontaine. And running out the top 10 in this practice right now is the 51 of Elliott Sadler. Crafton, Darrell Wallace, Alex Bowman, Joey Coulter, and Mike Skinner will make up the top 15 in practice as of right now. Some trucks that are going homers that are not doing that great in this session are Cal Martell, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Tyler Young, Justin Jennings, Caleb Hallman, and Scott Stenzel. They're actually the bottom 6. The slowest 6 are all going homers. So right now, if this was qualifying, they would all miss the show. See, Frank Kimmel is 36th quickest, CJ Faison 35th, Nelson PK 34th. So we pretty much got a few minutes of practice left. It says we got a minute and 50 seconds. And while we have a bit of time, let's go back and see what happened to Scott Riggs. As we all know how he was in that hard crash. Not quite sure what time it was at. It was involving the 60 of Scott Riggs and the 59 of Cal Martell. Have to fast forward it a little bit now. Not quite sure what lap Scott or Kyle was on. But I'm going to fast forward and see what happened. Oh man, this was a huge crash. Involving more trucks than I thought. Actually, Jimmy Weller. Did Jimmy Weller blow up? Oh no, he did not. He hit that little crest in the wall. Because you see how close he is to the wall. Looks like he might have got held by the 27 of Jeff Agnew, who goes up in the air almost on top of the 84 Fontaine. There's Kennedy, who's the quickest. Weller, who's flipping, comes back up the track, and Bing Kennedy does get involved. McCumbee got involved. Scott Riggs, Chris Laverty, whole bunch of trucks. Here's Norm Benning. Look at the 27 flip down the track. Jeff Agnew. Only truck I saw was Martell and Scott Riggs, because guys like Jimmy Weller and Jeff Agnew was carried to pit road, or was transformed to pit road that quick. There's more tailgating involved. So that's what happened. That's good to know. And they're still showing us with about 33 seconds remaining. Bing Kennedy in the 31, Rookie of the Year contender right now, showing a great start of the season, or great start of this weekend, as he is the quickest guy here. Jeff Agnew in the 27 is second, and Justin Lofton is third quickest. Running out the top 5 once again is Johnny Sauter in the 98 and Ryan Blaney in the 29. After this, we will show you the starting grid for the NEXTEra Energy Resources 250. And actually, so they're restarting the timer. We have another 30 seconds we got to go through. Let's talk about what's on the schedule after this. We will show you the starting grid, and looks like there it is. Wait, no. Let's just go back and we'll show you the starting grid after this session is completely over, and it is official. There it is, complete. Here is how the 42 truck stood in practice. The drivers have now took the course back to the garage. Next up on the weekend, we will have a NASCAR Nationwide Series practice along with the NASCAR Spring Up Series Daytona 500 practice. And then we will take you to the 3 races, part of the Speed Weeks at Daytona. Now we'll show you the 36 drivers that made the field and the 6 drivers who will be going home very disappointed as they will not race in the NEXTEra Energy Resources 250.